Hello, welcome, back from lunch. We are the lucky ones, we've got our own couches here, so we can have a after lunch nap. And you can't because you're sitting in your uncomfortable chairs. But we'll show some solidarity and we won't have a nap here on stage. Thank you for coming, despite the short lunch break. And welcome to this panel that will be about music export and music export offices. Not music export offices in all cases, music export initiatives, music export people is rather a better expression. And from my side, Ruth, Koleva, Bulgaria, SoAlive, Kushtrim, Kosovo, Prishtina, from Prishtina Music Conference, Zorica, Tepić from Serbia Create, and Emir, Fulurija, representing the new Croatian Music Expert Initiative as an associate, if I'm right. Yeah. Music export efforts is rather key to what most has been doing. I would even say that what most has done in the past years is usually what music export offices are doing. So we were trying to do the work that in the lack of music export offices in the region hasn't been done before, but now it seems that things are moving. Can we make a quick round and just get a statement from you that when a music export office launch is in your countries? Ruth, what's happening in Bulgaria?
So I wouldn't say Bulgaria is really in the stages of like being almost ready, so to say, but we're trying to do like totally independent and not government affiliated ways to export our music. And this is something that certain individuals, including myself, have been doing for many years now. But in the sense of really building the export office, we have. And this is not a secret or anything. We have sort of built a structure. We have an idea how to make it. Now, the general issue is in most places is funding. And our country, until very recently,
that's a minor issue. I mean,
yeah. But funny thing is because we, the whole region, the Balkan region, we're kind of survivors. We know how to do things with less resources and creative ideas. So we've been like trying to find other ways to make this happen. We kind of anchored our first initiatives is starting a music conference where we are focusing our music conference, which is in October. We're focusing that on our region, on the Balkans, because for me, the first and foremost step for our country, because we've been completely segregated from the rest of the Balkans, is to have unity within our region. And this is a very historical problem. So Bulgaria was...
When you say we, you mean
I mean Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Yeah,
like
Bulgaria was kind of...
Not being an ex-Yugoslav country, you feel further from the area than the former Yugoslav.
Yes, and this
republics.
is not like, this is completely, rational. We've been not connected to the Yugoslav region, before 1989, and we do not have the same cultural, similarities and language similarities with Romania. Greek and Turkey is also like not quite connected in terms of music. So our musicians have been really suffering and struggling just staying in our country, not being able to jump off to another, to another place. And now we recognize that and decided to do the first steps in kind of wrapping up the region and consolidating the region the best we can. But in the terms of an export office, due to the fact that we did not have a steady government for the last almost, or maybe more than 2 years, is just something that we're trying, and with small steps, we're trying to explain and communicate. And also, one of the most important things with us is building capacity, because there's people who've been doing different aspects of, of music showcase, export in a very individual, independent way. But as a structure, we need to still build our own internal capacity so this can formulate as a structure. And this is not an easy task. This, to me, is as difficult as the funding.
Yeah, we'll get back to what's the government's role in music export offices. But before that, let's go over to Kushtrim and Kosovo.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It was a good opportunity for us to put us as a new country in this project. Since the Kosovo is a new country for whoever it knows, so we're trying to build offices, booking agency, trying to do things just to get the new talents in the offices. So in that way, we are trying to move forward to get a connection with the next of the region, and then to prepare for the internationals, because all the talents and stuff, they're trying to go to on that way. So in the Kosovo, I'm explaining a little bit how we started with the music export. So we started with, in the beginning, rave booking, like we invite new talents in the offices, and then step by step we created then the Prishtina Music Conference, which won for the people who don't know that we still will travel with a visa. This is the biggest issue for us. Like
for the country with an asterisk.
Yeah, and of course for the talents and the artists, it's very hard to move forward, even to go to even here in the Hungary. So you need a big process to come and to move forward in that way. So we try in the way. We opened the Prishtina Music Conference. We try to travel all around Europe. We make a connection. And we invite the connection to the Kosovo just to prepare the new, to meet the artists and talents with the professionals who is doing the events and the concerts in the region. This is a kind of idea we start to build up in Kosovo. And to be honest, we are super lucky, because even the funding, as Ruth saying, in Kosovo and Albania starting to move forward from the municipality and the Minister of the Culture to pay more just to grow up this kind of ideas, just to grow up this kind of artists who wants to support themselves, because even the artists, they need to push themselves on the next stage. This is for me for now.
Yeah, thank you. Zorica, tell us about the Serbian situation.
In Serbia we have a little bit different, it's not different situation. What we are doing now is, I work for the National Platform for Creative Industries as a part of the Prime Minister Cabinet. And so I'm not in any of ministries in the countries, so we are like separated. And we are gathering like film, gaming, IT, arts, science, and music is one really important part of that. First, when they invited me to work on this export initiative, I started to develop like export strategy, and then we find out actually that there is much more than exporting, and there is like so many opportunities, not just for our musicians, even for all the people in the music industry. Then we figure out that actually we don't have defined what is music industry in Serbia and who is like participating in the industry, that we don't have like status, and we are not even sector, we are like in the all sectors, like in all departments. So what we are trying to do now is to gather all the people and all the companies who are working like in the music, to define what is in the music industry, what is the what possibilities we have, and we won't open just music export office. That will be just part of the one bigger initiative, in Serbia, who will gather the whole industry. So not just musicians, like the rental sector, events, bookings, education also, licensing, collective societies, and all the others. So export will be just one part of that. So we are now in the process of getting all the infos and the values of that sector, so we can get something bigger for the industries, in short.
Thank you. Emir, Croatia is organizing the first SHIP conference in Šibenik next week, right? That seems to be the major effort so far of the new music export office.
Yes, We Move Music Croatia established last year in September. This is like first anniversary, and the next week is that SHIP Music Festival and Conference. I think it's like many good speakers from around the world will come there from professionals, etc., etc. I think it will be a good conference. We will see. And We Move Music are established by 4 different associations. It is the associations which worked in music before, so they are like music professionals, and they are, I think that the music scene in Croatia are big, are growing up, not only in world music. In world music, we are really growing up in the last years. And the main initiative, except that SHIP festival and conference, it's for the first year it was like for sending out the bands and artists on the tour. So that's the main 2 things what they are trying to do. With the We Move Music. And in the first year, I think that because I'm not in part We Move Music, so that I'm not speaking us, that we are just associate for the world music. So I think that they are doing good job in the beginning, but we'll see what next, because that funding things, we talk about funding. The good thing for We Move Music that associations that are established, We Move Music, are well known in Croatia. So, like Croatian Musicians Union, that is a central union of musicians in Croatia. And they have okay fundings for beginning. I think a lot of artists. I think already in the first year it was like 10 tours for artists in Croatia to Europe, and they have fundings for that. I think it will be good for that part. We'll see what will that SHIP conference bring to the Croatia, because we didn't have any kind of that conference in Croatia. We have it in Ment, Ljubljana, which is really close, but we'll see afterwards.
Even people from the famous MOST project will be there, just like at SoAlive and Prishtina Music Conference. So it's really
That's very important.
Yes.
That's what's going to make SHIP very special.
Yes, it shows the importance of these events, of course. But yesterday at another panel, I think it was Nick who mentioned that there can be several different motivations for supporting music export, and the motivation behind can lead to different results. So that motivation can be kind of political, cultural diplomacy, national pride in our culture, showing our culture to the world, preserving traditions, whatever. Or on the other hand, it can be economic and to look at the potential economic return, growth, tourism.
But that's also important.
Collecting the society's revenue, whatever. So what's behind all these initiatives? Is it more like this cultural policy or economic? How do you measure your success? What's the impact that you're looking for?
Well, I can, yeah, okay. Because I have a little bit of an issue with all this, but I'll switch to that later. I think the ultimate way to measure the impact is the success of the musicians. For me, as a musician myself, this is what I want to achieve. I want to recognize. I want my colleagues, our music to be heard loud and clear around the world, of course. Now, the political stuff, I don't care about. Diplomacy is something that is incredibly important, and I think is something that it can make all of us very strong. A huge sort of point for us, and the reason why we're anchoring our conference the way we are, is because there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity in our region. Our region, the Balkans, is around 60 million people, and because of the complete blockage of Russia and the lack of music industry, realistically in Ukraine, the Balkans is where the core, European market, which is oversaturated, can grow to. Now, of course, something that Zorica pointed out that is good to mention is that we are quite developed in the tech, gaming, like the other creative industries. We're quite advanced. And for example, in Bulgaria, but also in Serbia, is like the movie industry is growing quite well. Like we have our own cinema cities and all that, and there are massive productions coming to film in our country. So if we wrap this up and we sort of stabilize our region in sort of cooperation, diplomatic cooperation, we can have a bit much better leverage to work towards recognition and success of our industries, creative industries in general, and music being the leading one because that's the one that has the most impact, based on all statistics worldwide. Now, one of the things that I do have a massive problem with is just focusing on tradition and roots and folklore. I know that we're here in a project which is very much rooted in that sense, but there's a massive...
But export can't be just about there.
Yes, that's what I wanted to point out, that there's a massive backdrop in where we're talking about bands of, modern genres and alternative music, because the global world and the way it functions is that, we have young generation artists who, including myself, I've never been very much connected to folklore. I appreciate it, I respect it, but I never felt like I want to sing that or I want to play that music and I want to be, part of my personal genre identity. And I'm not embarrassed of that, of course. I respect everyone else who has their own decision. But, for example, there's so many bands, artists, singers, musicians who do not get the support for their export because they're not connected to the folklore and the roots and the so-called Balkan music. And we've seen this segregation, and we've seen this, I can say it very fairly, discrimination towards artists of modern genres in the whole European ecosystem when it comes to, showcases, conferences, songwriting camps, or whatever else there is out there. And this is, I fair to say, very unfair. And, it's about seeing our music community as a whole and not doing the segregation. Something I've also noticed, and this is our own personal problem, is that we have this so-called Bulgarian cultural institutes outside of the country. And, you would almost never hear anything like modern music. They always present folklore and our roses and our costumes and all that. But if we want to be recognized as modern destinations and modern countries and really be, let's say, European on whatever level, this is something that it should go equally with our traditions and our roots. And it's very important to address. I feel that it has not been addressed enough. And I feel that the artists that present these contemporary genres and these modern genres, pop genres of whatever, are not getting, the equal representation within the global export system. And this is part of our own problem, but this is also part of the whatever opportunity problems, from all the other major events, projects, and conferences who decline to recognize the modern music as part of our region's identity.
Yeah.
That was long. How many minutes did
Zorica, your situation might be a bit different because you're working for the government, basically, unlike these more grassroots export initiative. How much are you influenced in your mission by the government's policy? How much is in this sense more politically motivated, more cultural diplomacy oriented?
We are pretty similar, but I'm in a different position than Ruth it is, because I have opportunity, to be involved in the cultural or creative strategies of one country. That means, because it's not easy for me just to exclude the export from the whole story, because our main goal is how to make the environment and how to give all the people from the industry infrastructure and everything which goes with that, so they can do their job, first of all, and to help them. First of all, that's not in Serbia. I think that's not even the job. That's not the opinion. If you're a musician, you don't have a job. You're a musician. So there are a lot of things that needs to be changed. Like first in opinion, and in the relations with even with the government. I'm because I'm coming from the industry, but from event industry. I was working for the Exit Festival and a major rental company, Sky Music, and for 15 years. And I was in charge for marketing and sales. And I sold a lot of tickets I was counting around 3 million tickets. In my life, I sold it out. So I've been part of one part of the industry. So what I'm all the time trying to translate, to be translator between the government and the industry, because they don't understand each other at all. And first of all, I would like them to get I want to name the industry, first of all, and to put that on the higher levels so that can be a job and that people can live of that. It's not just of the exporting. There is a lot of other possibilities. What is actually export? It's not just export if band goes to play to showcase into the other festival. It's export also if we manage to, for example, a lot of productions from Bolivia and Hollywood, they're coming to Serbia to film their movies and series. So if we manage to put our producers and people from music production to do which is happening actually, to do the music and production for some serial film, that is also exporting. So also for gaming, that's it's not just local thing, that we have some of the major games are produced in Serbia from our IT companies. So I am in a different position. That's why I said, because I can influence on that people and that sectors that to connect much better with the music, in that way. So we are doing. For me, it's how to help the industry, because they all need to do some other jobs, and to have regular jobs. I just want to help musicians and the people from the industry that they can live of the music, and that's not happening to most of them, actually, in Serbia. That's my main goal. Yeah, then everything else with, it's logical. Music is one of the things which is really good for the image. You have Exit Festival, Serbia is well known by Exit Festival, and that's music. And the Exit really influenced the image of Serbia. So we are worldwide known by Novak Djokovic and the Exit Festival. So that's also important for the image of the country, of course, culture exchange and everything which is good. But my first goal is, to help the industry that they can live with that. That's the point.
It's an ambitious goal to achieve the musicians to be considered a useful member of the society. Emir, what's the motivation behind? I mean, you told us already that it's a kind of a private initiative, but there is some governmental support behind it as well.
It is a private, but it is not a private. It's something between, because that is an initiative from the associations that already was doing stuff with music, you know, and our the main guy of the Croatian Musician Union, Zoran Baljak, he plays in Let 3, that Eurovision popular thing. He and his friends from another association just think that there is no some policy to move music abroad. You know, when we, for example, you know, Balázs for that, and a lot of people in audience know that Croatia is maybe the only country from European Union that don't have a stand in WOMEX for years, I think 10, 15 years, and we did this like I don't know how to call it before the last year WOMEX. We have, like, I can speak in world music, like 40 artists, which is, in my opinion, really good. You have in most showcase, I think, 4 or 5 in these days. So this is something that need to be promoting outside the Croatia. And I agree with Zorica. There is no professionals in Croatia outside the musicians. You know, even musicians are not professionals. So there is no promoters, managers, etc., that can help the artists. I think that's the thing that We Move Music can do. I know the example that one artist had an agreement with some label, and then asked We Move Music to read that contract if it's everything okay. And Frane from We Move Music, one of them, are the lawyer in music industry, and they help them, and that is something that I think that should be the main interest of We Move Music and every expo office, to help everyone which is involved in music to go abroad easier, you know, like. For example, I have a great example in my Velo Zvuka, what we did music concerts in Zagreb, in Močvara. We had Marija Mazzota for 2 times, and she was so happy with the sound in Močvara. Then she took our Filip, our sound guy, to be her sound guy for Eastern Europe. That is really awesome, and that is something that We Move Music can do, because we have good sound guys, technicians, and everything, but they don't have an opportunity to go abroad to work on some really good festivals, etc. I think that We Move Music, or every expo office, need to be that, not only to helping to go abroad for a few gigs, and what after that. A few gigs don't means anything sometimes. So there is. I think that if it was a lot of good professionals in Croatia in music, that We Move Music shouldn't be there, you know, because we will do in other ways. So I think that's the main reason for established We Move Music, that they are moving around for festivals, etc., and they see that a lot of artists from other countries are getting that help, and not Croatian artists. So that is, I think, the most thing what they had in mind when they started this.
If there is one thing that connects the countries of the region, and I hear it many times, it's a feeling of being on the periphery of Europe, and the feeling of being ignored culturally, being underrepresented. But at every showcase, event, whatever, I hope you don't feel underrepresented here about like a specific Balkan
Yeah, that would be bad.
event, but
Balkan festival with no Balkans, that's,
yeah.
ooh.
But everywhere else, you just had, I mean, you and Mila, this quite vivid discussion about jazz ahead, ignoring Bulgarian artists.
Yeah, fuck
all
them.
the time. But
I'm sorry
yeah,
about that. I really am, and because I can
told
tell
it's
you,
vivid.
I was in Jazz Ahead for the first time, 2013. I had sold I don't know how many thousand copies of a jazz album in Japan. I had shows in a really cool jazz clubs, and I can tell you that there was no open door for anyone who had, you know, Eastern Europe written in their biography. And I've seen this so many times. I don't even want to start this discussion. It's a long panel, this one.
Okay,
But this is real.
I mean,
And it's not we don't feel
We've got
ignored.
time,
We
but-
feel discriminated. That's different. And I don't like saying that word because everyone is discriminating nowadays. You know, it's like the people of color, the LGBTQ, and like we don't want to go in that pool, but it's real. And every Balkan person who has lived or traveled or done shows in Western Europe can tell you this. And this is quite a reality. It is changing. I can say it's changing, but for sure we should hold them accountable for really doing this because it is an ecosystem. And for many of these places and many of these people have completely on purpose done this.
but this is not just about jazz ed, it's a more general feeling that as I'm looking at you, I have the feeling that you share as well. Kushtrim, have you got the same experience?
Actually, not that much in Kosovo, for example. I'm talking about the Kosovan Albanian now is starting doing this kind of concerts, and the artists now are more focused in these places because the community, the audience is getting more and more up for it because we bring so much good things because we are like professionals in the music industry, and we want to bring from outside what we see in Europe, for example. We want to bring in the Balkans. This has happened with us personally with me because what I saw in Europe, I was trying to bring in Kosovo because we are like still with the borders. So this is the thing. If we are thinking to do things and move forward in Europe, and because it's a big scene and big stuff, is not gonna work if you do things in your town, in your place, and then to move next up to the big stages. That is gonna be work. But in the other side, yeah, is going up.
I didn't understand anything
Yes.
you said, Kushtrim. That was I think you had a point that if you want to go to Europe, you need to fix your own pond, or the other way around.
As an artist, like most of
Yeah.
the artists and the audience, like I'm talking for Kosovo because Kosovo still, as I said before, can't travel that easy to see big things, you know. But we're trying to bring big artists like jazz, hip hop, folk, whatever it is who is in the big scene in Europe, to bring in Kosovo and to see how things and what kind of audience we have. So the young artist who is
Go back and say
the
good
young
thing about
artist,
Kosovo.
when
Yes.
they see who has big names in Europe, they say, hey, when she did, for example, we have Eda Zora and Elina Duni, who she's traveled the world, but they are from Albania and Kosovo, and now they are big stars. So when they can pass this border, why the new audience and the new generation can do that? They just need the effort, they just need the big promotion, the big stuff, big work, and then to move the next stage. This is what I'm trying to say, because you as an artist, I think you understand from artists, like organizer, and like you're in the panel. So you think you understand everything what artists and the audience can pass for it.
Yes, that doesn't completely change the fact that most artists from the region, whenever they want to present themselves or they try to present themselves, they do not get the equal opportunity in most cases. I don't know about Kosovo, since you have a few very big international names.
That's why I'm saying
none of we don't have that.
That's why I'm saying we have a lot. We
Yeah.
have a lot, and this is like I'm starting to count on that. Is a Dua Lipa first. Dua Lipa was studying in Kosovo since from 11 years old till 17. But her father, when he was in our panel in the conference, when he saw her, what kind of talent she has, he get it and put it into London. And then he started to work on it super hard to sign the contract with the big labels. But the big labels was starting going to her, hey, sign, because there was no her, she has a talent.
Yes, but Kushtrim, we don't want people to immigrate as well,
Yeah, that's why.
Like, we don't want to encourage people, go to London so you can become Dua Lipa. Like, we want them to become on that level when they're...
I'm talking, so is another big star who was from Kosovo, from the hood of Prishtina. Like Era Srebia, she was performing on the big scene. Only with one song what she created. Only you need effort, only you need hard working to do it, and then I'm 100% you will pass it. Even us. Like, we work hard, we do things, and we are here. This is the things that happen.
Yes, I wish it was so simple. I don't feel it's so simple, to be completely honest.
It's not simple. It's not simple. I'm not saying it's simple. But
you make it sound like you work hard and you do the songs, but
it's
many steps.
If you focus, if you do things like artists, of course you will go to China. Is right? If you don't do things, and you will have several jobs and stuff, and the musician is just like that, of course you will not achieve that goal in the China. This is a thing. And even Dua Lipa, Rita Ora, Action Bronson, Goship, we have a lot of names who's come from Kosovo to move forward to there.
Yeah, that's
this is
true.
the thing.
Yeah, obviously the Dua Lipa case is very special.
And we are a super small country, 1 million, 8 people, so,
And that can totally, change your strategy, how to, because it opens a lot of doors.
Is another
to the
thing,
world.
what she did, for example, she travels, she's a big star, but she come back to Kosovo, and she make the biggest festival now in Eastern Europe, like Sunny Hill Festival. Like, she bring the biggest names like Calvin Harris, Martin Garrix, like, in the small country, because this kind of artists, they can go easy in the small countries. They go very hard, but they bring it for the first year, second year, third year, big names. Even Dua Lipa, she's coming every year, of course, because she's her town and her country, so she support very well on that in that point.
Yeah, we'll get back to those individual breakthroughs, but let's give a chance to Zorica and Emir to talk about this feeling of periphery, feeling of being ignored. Do you have that? Do you have that experience?
Well, me personally, I don't have that kind of feeling.
Not personally.
Yes, but we spoke, Ruth, about that. It's like, I think that. For example, if we go to Groningen, to Eurosonic, we have maybe 2 or 3 acts. And we don't have budgets, to support them with the programs and with the, And for us, as just for Serbia, that doesn't actually make a sense, It's huge investments, and it's not possible to, to measure that and to bring back that money, to country by that invest. But, for example, if we gather, like as a Balkan, and if we have 2, Bulgaria has also 2, Croatia also 2 or 3, Slovenia, then we can do something, If we split that budget and investment and do something as a Balkan, or XU or whatever, we can do and get some results, So it's not easy, and we can't compare with UK and with Germany and with Italy and the other countries because they're more developed. UK is the second country in the world by creative industries, and we can't compare with that, and we shouldn't. That's the point. We need to find our way how to manage this this situation. I think that, like, okay, locally in Balkan, we should present ourselves separately. But when it comes to that big showcases and festivals, and we should join our forces. That is what film is doing, for example. There is no Serbian film industry in the Cannes. There is like Balkan. They are joining their forces and they are like presenting themselves together. I think that there is no reason why in music industry we should do differently. That's in my opinion.
The Balkan
and
brand.
There is like that language barrier, which they're saying that doesn't exist, but that's the huge issue. For example, when we have Koi Koi. I'm not sure if you heard about that band. They're amazing, and they're doing really good job. And they've been like one of the Music Moves Europe. They almost won the main prize. And like 1 month after the Groningen, they had a tour in Holland, in Belgium. And we tried to get for them some interviews and medias, and they all told me like we are not playing the music which is not on like even the English language. So language is barrier, whatever they're saying.
Yeah. Balkan as a brand, the Balkan brand, is it useful for you to use, or does it hijack your country brands? Does it add any value? Are you using it in your communication?
I will speak for world music point of view, because that's my Balkan don't help anything for Croatian music, because Croatian world music artists, because we had that yesterday panel about that Balkan agenda, which is like Balkan beat, and it is still going on, and we in Croatia don't have brass bands like that, and that is really hard to sell Croatian music, Croatian traditional world music to the Western countries, because they are mostly want to listen brass bands like Boba Markovic or something like that, and they are expecting sound like that, and no one, I don't know the band in Croatia which perform anything like that. And it's really Balkan don't help, and especially before don't really that for exporting world music for Croatia don't help that name, that Balkan agenda, because I said there is much different music from Croatia, which can be listened even in this showcase festival.
No, I didn't mean like using the Balkan name for the, I didn't mean on that. I was thinking about joining finances, to present ourselves, That is how we could get more space and attention, It's really expensive to...
You mean that as a region, it makes more sense to, like the individual countries, for example, let's say Croatia or Bulgaria will never be the focus country of Eurosonic or Jazz, but as a region,
Yes. I think I totally agree with her, and I want to say that the word Balkan, when it comes in connection to music, I think it needs to be rebranded, because it does very much resonate with something very particular, and it's not that. Like what is Balkan? Balkan is a peninsula that unites countries, and honestly, like yesterday or maybe the day before, I had a small email conversation with the band, which pitched themselves to our festival. They're called Balkan Union. They're a Hungarian band.
I know. They might be here even.
Hi, I'm sorry if I was rude in my emails. Because it's a Hungarian band. And he explained to me that two of the band members, they have a Serbian heritage, but Balkan Union, in a word, in a sentence, it's something completely different. So I'm trying to I was trying to explain to them, to the band, that first of all, this is a little bit of a cultural appropriation, and second of all, it leads towards something that it's not. You know, the Balkans is like how many countries? So what does even the word union mean? And I also have the same problem with another band, like the Barcelona Balkan Gypsy Orchestra, and because you said the word hijack, and I don't want to use that word, but you know, I feel like we need to rebrand the Balkan, you know, the Balkan brand. It needs a fresher, new image that not only involves the music that people recognize as, you know, something particular, the Goran Bregovic or whatever. Because if you say that, you know, Balkan music anywhere outside, you know, even Europe, like if you go to the US and you say Balkan music, they do not recognize anything other than, you know, Goran Bregovic type
You
of
missed
thing.
the discussions yesterday. You missed the discussions yesterday. It's all been
I'm sorry.
raged out.
Yes, but I feel like we as a region, if we unite and we present a brand that is fresh and has all these assets that we were talking about, the festivals, the movies, the gaming industry, the tech industry, and then the music in the heritage, but both the modern image that it has, we stand a much better chance as a region, because I feel that there's a huge opportunity for us at this time and space right now. And it's up to us the majority of, you know, the portion, the bigger portion, we need to do the work. But again, that's why we're having these discussions, because I feel there is a need to do this, you know, unity, but also rebranding of what we represent.
But isn't the brand, I mean, the Balkan brand, it's slowly transforming already, isn't it? I mean...
I cannot say I'm there, so I don't know how to answer to that.
Sure.
I think the Balkans is like the Nordics.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Nick Hobbs.
Oh, hi, nice to meet you.
Hi. So if you compare with the Nordics, there's 4 or 5 countries in the Nordic zone. And each of them has a certain, they are culturally independent, connected, geographically connected, etc., common history, blah, blah, blah. And they have a common cultural forum. They have a lot of collaboration between them. One of them, or 2 of them, are not in the EU, Iceland and Norway. The other 3 are. And, you know, so, until recently, 2 of them were not in NATO, etc., etc. But in culture, they collaborate a lot, and in trade, in other things as well. And I think the Balkans you could compare. Of course, the Nordics are much richer, they're more advanced, and so on and so on. But the comparison, I think, is valid. There are times when you come together. There are times when you work together because it's stronger, it's more visible when you present something together than each. You know, if you go to WOMEX and you go to the trade fair and you see, I don't know, let's say Croatia, I'm not insulting Croatia, but you see Croatia has one booth, and then, you know, somewhere else there's a Serbian booth, and then somewhere else there's the Bulgarian booth. It doesn't say very much. It doesn't carry very much weight. If all the Balkan countries which care about cultural export, music export, come together and make a zone which we could call the Balkan zone.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just trying to comment on this definition of the word Balkan. And it's then you have more visibility, and you show that this is a region. It's not, and it's connected but also individual. You can do both at the same time. And I think the Balkan identification with Serbian brass bands, which we obviously we spoke about yesterday and we all know, but it's only skin deep. The term Balkan has a much deeper history, and you can use it and redefine it as you want. It doesn't, the connection with a little explosion of Serbian brass band music because of Kushtrim and Bregovic, it's a blip in the history of, you know, the history of the region. So there's nothing wrong with using the word Balkans, redefining it, making it clear that that's not synonymous with Serbian brass bands. That's part of it, that's part of the story, but it's absolutely only part of the story. And it has a high recognition. It's a geographical term. So it's neutral, actually. There's no, nobody owns the word Balkan. It's not an imperialist term. So I think it's actually...
We do. All the countries that are part of the region.
That's what I'm saying, but it's not like part of the Ottoman Empire or the Serbian, Greater Serbia or this or that. It's simply a geographical term. No, but well, I'm proud to be living in the Balkans. I don't agree. I think in music... Well, okay, I'm just saying my point. Personally, I don't agree, and if you can turn the negativity into a positive. I think it's a cliche. And the Balkans are now mostly in... Well, I don't know. I mean,
it is cliches what is fueling nationalism in many of the Western countries. But to kind of cut to the point, you are right, and this is exactly what we were, I think, pointing out, right? You kind of translated it. I'm sorry if our English is not as good, but it is exactly what we were pointing out. Yes, brass bands from Serbia are part of the history of it, and it's not. I'm not saying it as a bad thing. I'm saying it as a part of it. But we want to rebrand it. We want to rebrand it to include the fuller, more accurate, more contemporary picture with the history, with the traditions, but also with everything else that people from the UK are not aware that is going on because they're not. And this is not, again, this is not generalization. This is not a cliche. This is, in a way, facts. And I'm not trying to point out fingers and say, you're guilty, we're guilty, who's guilty. We're working towards bettering the region. And yes, Balkan is a geographical term, and we want to use it in the best way possible within our best efforts.
There is a Baltic Fund which supports all three Baltic countries.
Yes,
yeah, and
yes,
we have
but these
WOMEX.
are very much smaller countries. We're talking about 60 million if you look at it as a whole. You're less than 5. So I can tell you that for us it's a little bit more difficult because of the historical and quite recent historical problems between these countries. Like us in Macedonia, for example, Bulgaria and Macedonia right now are in a big problem, like political diplomatic problem, and we're trying within culture with our own efforts to work on that. So there's these dynamics which are a little bit more complex, but yes, I totally agree, and I feel that we all do in our sense of trying to strategize our region to make it better.
But I think actually the Baltic brand, it's an even better example than the Nordics because
yes, Baltic is a good one.
It's kind of a newly developed brand. Baltics, it didn't mean anything brand-wise 20 years ago. They filled it with meaning in the past 2 decades. And it's not so unsimilar. These 3 countries share their Soviet past, they share the Russian minorities, they share, trying to rebrand themselves to a more Nordic than post-Soviet countries, and I think they did it successfully.
I agree, and they always are a good example. I'm always pointing them out.
Yeah,
in our
and Baltic countries, they did that at the end this year, and and that was really good actually because they make much more attention around their countries, and they present themselves better than they used to do that like by themselves, and that's the point. I think that's the good one.
I see, and we unofficially opened the Q&A part then. Mateusz, do you need a mic or can you shout?
I think there's one mic somewhere in there, or that was yours. Ah.
Okay. Well, just one remark. When Ruth says like she's not into politics and yet put like the very political issue, who is getting the state support for the export, I was kind of, something in my head kind of ringed that, it is indeed political. But I wonder, what would you say are like the most successful Balkan music export cases from the past years? Maybe let's go into some case analysis. Because I know about the one which is not kind of obvious one, and it's related to my country, to Poland, and I'm thinking about the soundtrack for The Witcher 3, the very famous video game, which was the soundtrack that was finally including a lot of music from one Polish band named Percival Schuttenbach. And like they are the very unique Polish band because they perform rather Balkan music, as you may know or not, but in the soundtrack there is a lot of polyphonic singing, there is a lot of saz, lute played all along, which has nothing to do with Polish tradition, or nothing to do. It's simply kind of
I love The Witcher.
They rendition of what's here played by the Southern Slavs. And the funny case is like how it become like that, because simply the producers of the game, they went into the Polish folk music bands.
But they are
asking
Polish.
them for,
Project Red are Polish.
Let me finish. So basically the producers of the game, they went into the Polish folk music bands, some of the names we know here in the world music, in the world music kind of association and people. So they went into the Polish folk music bands, asking them to use their music for the soundtrack. And as Polish folk music is quite a small kind of association, we know each other very well, the bands gathered together to negotiate the better deal. And the one band that finally made into the soundtrack was the one that was out of that deal. Like they said, oh, no, we will negotiate our own individual. So like the result is that we have a Balkan soundtrack for a Polish hit computer game, Polish hit video game. And it simply kind of move out any kind of air that could be used by these other groups when like, presenting the kind of indeed Polish stuff there. So if you say like Balkan is something kind of seen by the Western Europe as a problematic region, for Poland this is absolutely the opposite. The CD that Goran Bregovic made with Polish pop singer Kaja is the bestseller for 20 years. They are coming back to play the large festivals, main stage, for some years now, every single year, and it's working. And it's definitely something that kind of influenced the Polish taste, the taste of the Polish audience very, very much. So yeah, if you feel kind of unvalued here at the Balkan, come enjoy Poland, come to Poland. You're very welcome there. Thank you.
Welcome. Well, I don't feel you did ask a question, but I will answer in the first part. What is the... Okay, I will answer very quickly. It's Dubioza Collective.
Tonight. The upmost stage. What do you think would be needed for more regional cooperation? I mean...
Rakia.
More rakia. Yeah, rakia always helps out. And yeah, what's the next step after that?
More rakia.
Okay, let's imagine that at the next WOMEX or Eurosonic, you would want like
to have a regional stand.
A regional stand. What's needed to achieve that?
Some money, as a start. No, I'm going to start joking, and I'm going to answer you. It needs structure.
I mean, this WOMEX is covered. Most will be there
yes,
still. But
we're all going.
We won't be. Yeah, we won't be around forever.
But it needs a structure, and we need to figure it out. And we have, I guess, some ideas. But it's gonna take some time because it's about responsibilities and involvement and impact. So if it's not gonna let's sit down and figure it out and start it next week. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time and understanding because, as I said, Bulgaria being segregated from the Yugoslav countries, and also you have, because Greece and Turkey and Romania, they were also part of the Balkans, if you want to talk clearly. So we need to kind of get to know each other more and understand each other more to really focus on the benefits for everyone and not just everybody pulling the rope in their own corner.
But But I think they just started,
May
like,
I
this
jump
is the
into this?
starting to do things, like the countries, this is the starting. Actually, this is the first step of doing that, like maybe we can call everyone from Romania and Turkey, or maybe next year will be much more bigger, the crew, so that one we will start to do things. And I think we are on the good way, since
Completely.
money will come, 100%.
May I
The things
jump
are
in this?
coming.
What do you
Yeah.
mean money will come 100%?
No, they will come if you put, or if we're in this kind of situation to do things all together, we will apply on fundings and
Yeah, I
there is
think
a lot of things
governments
to
are
do
willing to support that also. So he's, I think, that's the point.
this is the point as Ruth says. So
I think
we will
Mila wants to say something.
Yeah, but Emir also wants to say something, and then.
Okay.
But yeah.
I just, because still staying on the common stance and all this kind of concept at the WOMEX or other exhibitions and forums, because we are running and organizing the Bulgarian stand, and because I have this personal experience, and all of us, we felt very lonely for some time. And we were trying actually to initiate this both on Jazz Ahead and WOMEX. And because, yes, we are talking about money, because of course we doesn't have sufficient, we have locally, it doesn't have very developed politics for cultural export. But our problem was not connected to other countries that did not respond to these initiatives. WOMEX supported us to introduce us to other countries. So we were trying to find, because for some time we were the only Balkan country represented there with a stand. And now last year there was Greece, there was Turkey, and Serbia and No, sorry, but Istanbul is on the, very close to us, and I don't think that, yes, Turkey is a very big, territory, but for me it's still a neighboring country. What I wanted to say is that we are actually struggling the lack of interest of people from other countries to jump into this so far. I hope that all these conversations will change.
So everybody jump.
And yes,
everyone who's here.
It's not, the problem wasn't the money in this moment. The problem was that, when I saw a Greek stand and I immediately went to them, and they were looking at me very suspiciously with this. I told them, I'm so happy to see somebody. We need to start doing something to unite, to make a common villages and stands on this. And they were looking at me very suspiciously. So we need to do this, and it's not only a matter of money, it's a matter to just act on this. This is just share it from my experience, because I've tried to do that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, uniting, getting together, joint efforts is always a good thing, positive thing, but there is the other trend. Look at Spain. At these events, there is a Spanish export office, a Catalan export office, there is Basque music, there is Galicia sounds, like 5 export offices representing one country, because they feel that, they've got their distinct culture.
Well, let's not talk about division. Let's talk about
Yeah, I'm just saying that. Yeah. Okay,
competing.
But let's
yes, because we've already lost.
I just need to
Yeah.
say something that.
Go ahead.
There is a problem with uniting the countries there is a political problems. Not with, okay, There is a problem because fundings, we need money for that. Okay, if we don't need it, great. But a lot of money come from governments. And unfortunately, in some countries, in Croatia, there is a right wing on the government, and there is some issues are still hard to do with Serbia, especially. You know, I would say that, and I think that good thing that is starting that expo offices, because there are professionals who can do much better talk with politicians. That is because there before this expo office, I can go alone to Ministry of Culture. I am Emir Fulurija, and I want to get a stand on WOMEX with all the Balkan, and they will say to me, why?
There are countries where the export offices are financed by the collecting societies, for example.
Okay.
Isn't that possible?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, basically, most as a EU co-funded project was needed because local funding for such initiatives, it's still very difficult. I don't know how many decades have to pass after the war that you know, these countries can finally start cooperating on the political level as well, but it seems it wasn't enough yet.
We have still one question from the audience. Can we proceed?
Yeah, but I'll let Zorica make her comment.
No, it's. I have just one small comment because I don't like to do things without strategy, and we don't have, for example, as Serbia, as a country, we don't have music strategy at the moment, and I think that's like really necessary because we are all trying to present ourselves on all events in the whole world. Like there is like so many countries outside of Europe, and it's if we are speaking about Balkan and our like some association and cooperations, we need to see, you know, for example, China is for Serbia a good market. We have like Slobodan Trkulja, he's really famous there and he's like performing a lot with China, but we are not speaking about the other markets except Europe. We're all like looking in the Europe, and Europe is obviously too small for all of us. So I'm not, when I speak with the artists, I ask all of them, how often you're looking in your analytics? Come on, we are living in the 21st century, you know, and you can see who is watching your videos, how many, how long, where are people showing interesting for your music, and things like that. And it's, when it comes to performers, they need to think more about targeting, and then when they need to come to export office and say, okay, China or India or USA or whatever country, you know, is good market for us. We have few good examples. I'm not sure if the guys from Naked are here, Naked Band. And they now have some. They're doing that really good, you know, and they're like playing a lot in India, and obviously Europe is not
returning to Korea every year now.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So and like they have like really concrete requests for help when they come to us, you know, and it's pretty easy with them, you know. But I think that is good example how some other musicians also need to, because it's not everything up to export offices, you know. We are like a platform, you know, and we need to find a way how to find funding and, you know, to help them with the contacts and recommendations and things like that. But it's a lot on the artists, you know. And I think that we should, because I'm in marketing like whole my life, and I'm like looking on this like on one huge campaign, you know, and where we need to sell, you know, tickets, in this case, like more slots on the festivals and showcases for our artists. But I think that we need to change our approach, you know, and we have the whole world, you know.
Yeah.
Can you pass the mic?
No, no. Let's just. Yeah. You are waiting for a long time. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm Malena from Jazzerhead, actually.
Ah. Hello.
And because there was a discussion before about Jazzerhead, and it was kind of, I was not there yesterday, unfortunately, so I couldn't say anything about it. But I want to comment a little bit on what Ruth said, that we are ignoring the Bulgarian artists from Jazzerhead. We actually have an evolving system of jury that changes every year. And we have actually tried to have more applications from Bulgaria in general, but for example, 2023, we only had 7 applications from Bulgaria in a total of 385. So the percentage that an artist from Bulgaria is successful in that case is more difficult. Before you say something, wait. And we tried for the last couple of years. I've not been that long there, right? I started 2019, then it was Corona, etc. And I tried the last couple of years to make a stand of not only Balkan, like Balkan in the wider sense, like Greece was there for the first time, and Romania was there for the first time, to do a regional stand inside the trade fair at least, so that you can connect with each other and take it a step further. But just wanted to comment on that, because I saw you were pretty not satisfied with us, and I want to invite you, of course.
I'm not. And I'm going to answer you very quickly because we don't want to get into that. But you're going to have 7 applications because you've never booked anyone. Do you understand? Because 10 years ago, I can tell you that we have gathered much more people, and everyone applied and they were motivated. I think the first time, what was the name of the guy from Jazzerhead who was in Bulgaria for the first time, I think 10 years ago? So we were motivated. But when you're not giving a chance to anyone, then no one's going to be motivated to apply.
As the organization
so,
doesn't give the chance.
I'm sorry?
It's our juries that are basically having the
then diversify your jury. Do not. I'm not trying to attack you directly, but diversify your jury.
I know.
And also, we do not need you guys to try and like make us to talk to each other. Do you understand? It's like because that's what you said 1 minute ago. So we don't kind of need that. We're not small children.
First of all, let's de-escalate this a little bit. That's what I meant. Maybe I didn't express
That's how it sounded. You wanted to put us together to talk to each other.
We have been talking and...
Do you want to lock us in a room or something and fix our problems?
I don't
Thank you. We had enough of
fair.
Western Europe trying to interfere in our own relations. We're trying to fix it by ourselves for now. I think it's good. So just try to give us a bit more of a credit for what we're trying to do next time.
I am giving you credit because I'm in contact with Mila most of the times, and I'm trying to basically, like I did with the Nordics, or we did with the Baltics, to connect them with each other, and they talk with each other, get organized, and say what they want to do. I'm not saying like, as Jesuit as the head. I'm only one human. I'm only one person. That's not what I meant.
Me too. I'm also one person here, and I'm answering you the way I feel.
Okay. I think we have to...
Our time is almost run out.
Let's just... Thank you very much anyway. I hope we can speak.
But I hope this is your chance after all the online stuff to sit down and talk. It would really be helpful, I think. I saw the hand of Anna there. Yeah, but the mic is very, very, very long way from you. No, Anna, go ahead. I do the moderation.
I just wanted to comment. I don't have any questions. Sorry, never. I wanted to comment that about the algorithms and about statistics. We are constantly fed to people from the XU region. So we are the band from Serbia, Alice in Wonder Band. I do a lot with our social networks, marketing, blah, blah, blah. But we are fed with the algorithm to Zagreb, to people from Bosnia, you know. So we cannot get to any other market if we are not marketed there, and we need budget to go there. So that's very plain and simple. You know, you can be export ready, but you cannot be exported if somebody doesn't help you to export yourself there. And that's it.
It's not just about funding, maybe, because I wanted us also to talk about, you know, the structures behind the musicians. I mean, the whole infrastructure, management, agencies, whatever, who could be helpful. We didn't have too much time left for that. But are you covering that area with your export efforts as well to help develop the local structures who could help the artists grow?
Digitally?
Not just digitally. I mean, tour-wise, contracts, and digitally as well.
Well, I'm just gonna, I'll leave the guys for the rest, but I want to say something about the digital. There isn't a manager, like a Spotify curator or Spotify manager in the whole region. Our first stop, if you want to communicate with Spotify, is Poland. So this is something of a big issue, because if there's no one who oversees the new music that's being released within the region, then it's not possible to get the music and plug it into like playlists, editorials, and all that. So this is an issue that you have to really speak about it and address it with your country's independent record label association or your copyright association, because that's you know, the big tech companies kind of micromanaging us staying in our region and not having anyone to oversee what's being released and what's going on. And that, you know, for example, in France, there's perhaps 10 managers and 10 curators. It's the same in Spain, it's the same in Germany. So in that sense, we are not on an equal level in representation of these global corporations, which are very influential in music.
Kushtrim?
Yeah, about our country, yeah, we have plans to do things for touring the artists, and already we started last year after the pandemic stuff. So yeah, we have a big agency who are working with in the Balkan scene and in Europe. So yeah, who is in bands and stuff. We are really wanted to bring in Kosovo just to see it, to experience a new country and new stuff. So yeah, we are happy to do that.
Okay, there were more questions from the floor that I might have ignored, but I don't see hands now. But it's maybe because of the light. I'm blinded by the light. But anyway, it's time for final comments, because from 4 o'clock at the Kafana session there will be more time and space for networking with the most partner organizations. Everybody is welcome there, and it starts in a few minutes. So if there's anything else you want to share at the end of this, well, I'd say colorful and chaotic panel, then do it now.
I say unity is what we have to strive towards. And I truly believe it. Doesn't matter how it sounds.
Yes, definitely. But I said that we have that problems, and we that expo offices I think that can achieve that unity and do something to say political to say to people who run the countries that we need to be together for the markets, for anything else. And you ask, Balázs, what I think that should be Expo, what should do Expo offices in the future. I think that is the main important, is not that much, we need to be in Croatia good, to have professionals in any, not only artists. We don't have, like, I really don't know, I'm from media, I'm journalist. We have like 2 journalists maybe who cover the music in Croatia, but maybe, because for...
Including you?
No, I'm sport journalist, so I'm a sports journalist, so I only can congratulate Serbia to winning basketball, not about music. And that is the problem. The problem is with the clubs, you know. The clubs in Croatia don't have infrastructure. The problem is we don't have promoters. Okay, we have a good agency for LA agency. They are really, I think, the biggest maybe in this part of Europe for doing that commercial things, but they are doing great things, yeah. And we need to, I think, I know that the Expo office will have some workshops and anything, and that SHIP conference is, I think, is the beginning of learning, getting people from abroad to learn people from Croatia what to do in the music, you know. And when Zorica talk about music strategy, I don't think that maybe 10 bands, maybe 10 artists and have a music strategy for 2 years. What they want to do in 2 years from now. I don't think
but
that.
It can be also a nice message to make this joint appearance. I understand there is no political support for it, but I mean, music needs to be always a few steps forward. I mean, advanced from politics, not behind. It would be very sad. It would be very sad to walk behind politics. You don't need the permission of governments to do that, do you? Yeah. So.
No, I hope that you didn't misunderstand me, that I don't want to be there. I just said that there is a problem. I don't care about that kind of politics that is running in my country, but there is a problem. We cannot say that there is no problems with some cooperation between the countries. There is a problem. There is a problem. We can do something without politicians, but sometimes you need fundings from government, and in that cases there is some questions for that guys who don't want to do that. That is something that I wanted to say when I talked about that problems. Not that I don't want to do that, you know, that I want, but there is.
Let's start planning that. Let's start talking about that at least. I mean, that goes without funding, and then if something is ready, then maybe it will inspire others too. Zorica.
Oh, I don't have nothing special to add. Just, I think that we all need to work, for example, in our country, first of all, on producing professionals, because we are all lacking of that, because I really believe that one good manager will always find a band, but if his band good, he won't manage his career without manager. So that is something which we will work on that in the next few years. Also education. What is actually export office? We need all to find out and to define for Serbia. I'm saying for Serbia, what should we do and what methods we should use in helping our artists. And innovations, of course, always innovations. And we are not export office, and we are already supporting a lot of artists for showcasing and their tours, and also when they need help to go somewhere. For example, AOT we supported like a few months ago to go to New York to do the show on the New York radio station. So we are helping with the promo, but we are not doing campaigns and marketing plans for them. So that's not the job of export office. So we will do a lot of things in the future, but yes, I agree that we need to cooperate and that there is a lot of work for us there.
Thank you. And thank you for coming. Thank you for the energy. It was really, really vivid. I liked it. And see you downstairs at the kafana.